Hey guys, Mike B. Rolling here. I've had several comments about glider kits being outlawed, and I just wanted to clarify on that a little bit. Glider kits weren't outlawed. The manufacture of glider kits was uh, tapered off slowly over time to a point that they were only allowed to make so many a year. I think they might have actually stopped the manufacture of them of glider kits uh, by 2021 or 2022, but it was like I think it was a 5 year taper. They had to they couldn't just put them out of business, so they had tapered off the numbers that they could produce each year. Glider kits themselves are not outlawed. There's no law against the government can't tell you you can't have this truck on the road running this engine because it doesn't meet their blah blah blah. They're not going to do that. Uh, Far too many people would challenge that, and it would be thrown out. That ruling would be thrown out. Uh, but glider kits themselves are perfectly legal. And then you've got situations like the glider kit manufacturers are still in business, still building trucks that have pre-emissions engines in them. They're just not glider kits because the one thing the government's good at doing is get very specific. And the first thing they said was a glider kit meets this is the criteria that says it's a glider kit. So those businesses, the first thing they said is okay, change our business model. Instead of doing this, and this, we're going to do that, and that doesn't meet that criteria. Therefore, we no longer sell glider kits. We sell new trucks with old engines. It's a very simple way to go through the gray area and get right around the law, and it works like a charm. But the owning, operating, and that is perfectly legal. There's no law that says you can't own a glider kit. Everybody that bought a glider kit, they're perfectly legal to run those glider kits. Now, California and New Jersey, I don't know. I would never go there, so I really don't give a crap. California, I wouldn't haul water to that state if it was on fire. I'm sorry. I got no need to ever go there. Then people are nuts. Not the people. The people are great, but the leaders of California, nah. I'd be afraid I'd wind up staying there because I'd try to run them over and be in prison for it. Just kidding. But no, the glider kits are perfectly legal. And then like the Beast, the way I built mine, that's not a glider kit. That's a built truck. It's just an engine swap truck. Doesn't matter. But they can't. And I had another guy comment that if you change an engine in a truck, that it has to have the same emissions level as the previous engine or higher. That is absolutely not true. If the engine in your truck has a specific level of emissions, you cannot take that engine and lower the emissions level of that engine. You can raise it, but you cannot lower it. But if you pull that engine out of the truck and put another engine in the truck, then that engine has a specific level of emissions. You cannot lower them, but you can raise them. But there is no law that says you cannot pull a full def DPF 2019 engine, 2023 engine out of a truck and take a 1987 B model cat, full mechanical, no computer electronics whatsoever, and put right back in that 2024 truck. There's no law that says you can do that, that you can't do that. You can. It's absolutely legal. Then once you do put that old engine in that newer truck, then the year of manufacturer of that engine dictates the level of emissions of that engine and whether it's E-log exempt or not. Anything December 31st of 1999 or older is E-log exempt as of right now. But don't forget, they threw out that ruling of the Chevron doctrine. I got a feeling a lot of the stuff the EPA did with emissions and all of their little rulings, that's just their interpretation of a roughly overly vague law. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of lawsuits filed. I'm sure they're already on file. I'm sure the moment that Chevron and deference case was overturned by the Supreme Court, I'm sure as soon as they overturn that case that the lawyers just for these big carriers that are just tired of their maintenance cost being 300% above what it should be, I'm sure they filed up class action lawsuits, single lawsuits, challenging each and every individual ruling, because if they're rulings, they're codes, they're not laws. A law has to be passed by the legislative body of the government. The EPA, what's the word I'm looking for? The EPA they enforced a rule the way they interpreted a very vague law to mean a specific thing and enforced it as such. And the Chevron deference that was overthrown by the Supreme Court says that it is not a law if it is not passed by the legislature in the government and signed into law by, at the state level, the governor, at the federal level, the president. Then it is a law, not until. But yeah, just want to throw that video out there. But yeah, there's a lot of common misconceptions, but glider kits are perfectly legal. You can own them. But you can build a similar truck to a glider kit like the Beast, the way I did it. Pulled my new engine out and put an old engine in it. That's not a glider kit. Nowhere on that title does my truck say that it's a glider kit, because it's not. I just changed the engine. Perfectly legal. And any DOT out there will ask you, because believe me, before I spent the kind of money that I spent to change that engine, I talked to Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan Department of Transportation state troopers in Indiana and Ohio, and then Michigan. It was Ohio was the actual, what do they call that guy? The Public Utilities, PUCO officer in Ohio, Public Utilities Commissions officer. I talked to them because they're the ones that would come after you for that. They're the ones that are absolutely by the book. And they said it was perfectly legal. State Trooper of Michigan said it was perfectly legal. Indiana State Trooper lives about 3 miles that way. Perfectly legal. No complaints, no problems. So yeah, by all means, whoever's telling you that it's illegal to build glider kits now, well, yeah, you're kind of right, but you can still build a truck that's identical to a glider kit, but it just can't have the words glider kit on the title. You have to do it otherwise. But owning them and operating them, perfectly legit. I can go out there and buy a 19. I can go out there and buy a 2019 glider kit that's used on the market. I can buy it all day long. I can run it all day long. Perfectly legal. Nothing wrong with it. But anyway, y'all have a good day. Be careful out there. Keep the greasy side down. Keep the comments coming. Keep the questions coming. And like and subscribe. Catch y'all later.